Alright YouTube, how are you guys doing today? What I'm going to do today for you is install the Proporta Advanced Screen Protector. They were kind enough to send this over for the iPad, and I believe it's just the screen itself. There is no back to this. I have reviewed and I have installed the screen protectors in the past on the iPhone, and it works good. There's no physical spray like the Invisible Shield. It's just a sticker and it goes on one shot sort of thing. Interesting to see how well this sticks on, and this is washable and replaceable, which is kind of interesting. Not too sure what that means. Does that mean you can take it off after say a few months and then put it back on once you've cleaned it? I'm not too sure. If that is the case, that is pretty damn neat. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and hopefully you guys can see. And you get squeegee with it as well. Clear cut instructions. Give your screen a quick wipe, which I have done with the orange cloth provided, which I haven't, but I guess it doesn't really make a difference what kind of cloth you use, but just to be on the safe side I will use it. Okay, so I have applied cleaned the screen. Peel me off first. Okay, you are peeled off, and I take it this is the sticky side, and this has to go on bang on correctly. So let me see if I can do this in the one shot. And it has done a pretty good job. Yes, there are sort of bubbles in it, but I don't think it's going to be that hard to take them out. And it's more of a matte finish. Now the Invisible Shield is a glossy finish, and I kind of prefer the glossy finish. But I'm going to go ahead and see, you know, how well this performs. You know, I've got high expectations of this from previous devices, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, what kind of performance this actually gives me. So that's the best I can sort of get all the bubbles out. There is no bubble on the actual touch screen apart from the corners. I'm not too sure why it's not going at the corners. Have I applied the shield too near the bezel? But I don't think I have. I think I have just bang on got it just before the bezel. But as you can see, it's causing some sort of friction there in the end. I'm going to give it 24 hours and see how it works. And as you can see, it does have quite a lot of. It is quite attractive to fingerprints, but I'm going to go ahead and see, you know, how this is, and see if these bubbles go away. Guys, just an update. It has been 6 to 7 days approximately since I applied the Proporta screen shield, and after I made that video on the installation, I actually took it off and then moved it so the friction on the side, it was on this side I think, wouldn't show up, and it, you know, worked. It was fine. I hadn't placed it properly, and simply I waited 24 hours to see if it would die down or lie down, you know, fine, but it didn't. So I literally picked it up and then moved it towards that side and put it back on, and hey, Bob's your uncle. Looks good so far. I mean, I'm not having any problems in terms of you know, using the screen. If I have it the right way around, you know, there's no sort of trouble. It's detecting the touch screen fine. Now it just depends on whether you're a fan of glossy or matte finishes. Not too sure what type of finish this actually is, but this feels like a more of a rough feel. This could be good for privacy. If you're not too big of a fan of the glossy screen, then go for this. Simply because if you're out in the sun, you want to read something, the sunlight is going to come in back and reflect you, and it's going to make reading absolutely horrible for you. But whereas if you go for the Proporta, it's going to take some of that glare away, and it is definitely a bonus. As I said, I've been using it for 6 to 7 days and it has been working a treat. I'll leave the description as to where you can get this from. I believe it's still on pre-order, but you can inquire with the company should you have any more questions in terms of availability. They ship worldwide, which is pretty damn cool. and thanks for watching. If you have come across a screen shield for the iPad, do let me know and I will for sure take a look at it. Rest assured I will be doing, maybe after a few days, going over another 2 companies and giving you my final rundown as to which screen shield you should go for. But for the 2 I've reviewed so far, this one Proporta and OtterBox. The OtterBox to me seems like an option for me because I like that gloss finish. On the other hand, my mum, she doesn't like the gloss finish because, especially in those light conditions, it does reflect. But it's entirely up to yourself, your needs, whether you think the gloss finish is good or not. Thanks for tuning in. Do join me on eyeglassregion.com, twitter.com/i6glassregion, and I shall see you in my next video, doing some fancy moves with the camera. But yeah, cheers.